All right, let's go through the 16.3 work together. First part, balance sheet accounts. The following list of accounts is taken from Superior Corporation's adjusted trial balance. For each account that appears on the balance sheet, indicate if the account should appear in the current asset section or the plant asset section. The current liabilities section, the long-term liabilities section, or the stockholders' equity section. For any accounts that do not appear on the balance sheet, select Not on the Balance Sheet. Okay, if we look at cash, we've got current assets, petty cash, accounts receivable, allowance for uncollectible accounts, merchandise inventory, supplies office, supply store, prepaid insurance, notes receivable, interest receivable. And this is all listed in your book on the trial balance, on the balance sheet that we prepared. Move into office equipment. These are all plant assets, accumulated depreciation, store equipment, and accumulated depreciation. Moving into the next section, the current liabilities, accounts payable, sales tax payable, etc. All the way down to dividends payable. Okay, long-term liabilities, they don't have any. Neither did 3 green when we were going through the example. An example of a long-term liability is a mortgage payment. Apparently they don't have a mortgage payment. Stockholders' equity is the capital stock and the retained earnings. And then not on balance sheet. Dividends, etc. Okay, all the way down to interest income. Okay, here we have balance sheet characteristics. The amounts for the balance sheet are obtained from which source? Adjusted trial balance and statement of stockholders' equity. Those are the 2 things that we look at when working on a balance sheet. An assets related contra account balance is deducted from an assets account balance to determine the book value. We went over that in the lesson. On the following, which amounts should receive a double rule? Check all that apply. We've got the total liabilities and stockholders' equity and total assets. If you look at the final balance sheet we prepared during the lesson, turning to it now. Oh, I was in 16.4. Rewind. We had double rule at the end of total assets and double rule at the end of total liabilities and stockholders' equity. Of the following, which amounts should be equal? Check all that apply. If you look at the example, I'm on page 491 in the book, we have total assets and total liabilities and stockholder equity. Those should be equal at the end. Okay, moving into the problem. We're in the assets section. The adjusted trial balance and statement of stockholders' equity of Superior Corporation for the year ended December 31st of the current year can be found in question assets. We have adjusted trial balance, statement of stockholders' equity. Okay. So those are the 2 things that we're going to be using. Prepare the asset section of the balance sheet, including the heading. Enter the current year as 20-. Do not abbreviate the month. The valid values for text entry cells in the first column can be found in the text selection list tab of the question assets. There may be some values that are not required. Any necessary colons are provided for you. So this is just how we're supposed to word things, but I'm looking at the book and we should be able to select the text pretty well. So we have Superior Corporation, balance sheet, oops. December 31st. Okay, we start out with our assets section. And current assets. Okay, first one is cash. $43,355. And then petty cash, $200. Accounts receivable, $16,305. And then less allowance for uncollectible accounts. Okay, subtract those. And it goes right here. Merchandise inventory, 81. Supplies office, supply store, prepaid insurance, can't read it anymore, notes receivable, interest receivable. Okay. And here we have total current assets. Add all of those together. Oops. Where'd I end up? There we go. Awesome. Okay, next section. Plant assets. First we have office equipment. I wish I could split this somehow. It's so long. Okay. We are on office equipment. Now we totally take a screenshot of this and split my screen. So we're just going to travel up and down a little bit. Okay, less, oops, accumulated depreciation, 12,436. Subtract those. Let me double check the math. Yep. Store equipment. 47,318. Less accumulated depreciation. 16,626. Subtract those. Almost done. Okay, next we have total plant assets plus 7,479, 38,172. And that gives us our total assets. Double check that math. 38, oh, I should have typed that in. Cool. We are done with the asset page. Now let's do the liability. Okay. Okay, we finished the assets page. Now we're moving on to the liabilities section. And we'll start with current liabilities. Accounts payable, 13,191. Sales tax. 2859. Income tax, 760. Social Security, 1618. Medicare, 387. Sorry, 378. Health insurance, 368. Retirement benefits, 372. Unemployment, 237. Unemployment, 117. Federal income tax payable, 3879. And then dividends payable, 3,000. Okay, that gives us our total liabilities. I'm going to push pause and add. Sorry, I know you guys didn't want to watch me add again. Got it. Next section, stockholders' equity. All right, let's go up here. We need that other sheet. Okay, our capital stock, 82,500. Remember preparing that the other day. 82,500. Retained earnings, $76,432. 76,432. Almost done. Total stockholders equity. Add those two together. Nope, 159. 158,932. And then total liabilities and stockholders equity. $26,783. 185, 715.40. And if you look, that matches this. We did it. Good work.